So the poll question, or what levels can security permissions be granted in relationship to the reports manager? Individual report, report categories, all reports, user specific, or all of the above. 89% say all of the above, 11 say by specific. You're all right. All of them can be done. Okay, all of them can be done. And this is an area that probably demands more time than we have left today, but we're going to just go quickly in here and take a look at how some of this stuff works on the report side. The security levels on the reporting does get quite detailed. So what you need to know are going to be some of the things on how to set up the security. So under your application button, security options, I've created, for our purposes today, to show you some of the scenarios that are offered. I've just called them all reports manager. This doesn't mean that's the way you need to do it. I just wanted to show you some of the things. The basic entry level to run reports will require these three scenarios. You have to identify general, you have to identify a category or a report, you have to identify a location. Those are simply done by going into the reports. There's a section dedicated to reports. General will have to be checked in order to get to the reports. Additionally, location will have to be checked so it knows what location you're running to run the report on. And then you would need to either identify a report category, okay, or a specific report. If you only want to give the guy one or two reports, you can do that, or you can give the person a full category of reports. Okay, let's look at a medium range. Under the medium range, I've set up the properties very similar. So I've said in here, general, report location. Okay. Now, when you look at some of the reports, to execute the report, you're going to have a allow, which is going to allow only the reports selected. Or when you select a category, you can select all children, which would mean all of the reports under that category. So the category only, or all of the children reports. And remember, there's several of them underneath there. Okay. Maybe we ought to just take a real quick snapshot of that on how that works. Let me remove that. And let's go back and add that report category so you guys can all see how that works. So these are all categories. Okay, these are all categories. So if I say sales, vital signs, then basically that's what the employee is going to get. All of the reports underneath. Now, when I go to next, do I want to allow just that scenario, or do I want to allow all the reports underneath those categories? Let me say, it takes a little bit to figure this out, but you guys are smart, and I know you'll figure it out. It's really pretty easy. A specific. In this case, I'm identifying that the general, the report, notice I don't have the location, so this isn't going to work. But in this case, I've identified specific reports, not general, not categories, but specific reports. Okay. And if we look at in here, user, you're going to notice in your security settings, there are several reports with user in brackets at the end. Let me just bring that up so you guys can see that. Okay. Notice user, technician summary, user, service advisor summary. Wherever you see user, what that means is, let's say I have 3 technicians. I want all my technicians to see their information, not others. So user means that when they run that report, all they are going to see is their information. They're not going to see any of the other service advisors. Under a technician side, when the technician is set to run this report, the technician is only going to see his or her information, not any of the other technician information. So take note on user, that means only the technician or the service advisor that's running the report. I can only see mine, I can't see anybody else's, okay? So keep in mind user. Let's just do a quick review on that, okay? So report security, permissions, and reports requires at minimum the general view, a report location, and of course a report, a category or a specific report. Report categories can allow the category only or all of the treed reports underneath the specific category. A report could be identified as a specific, meaning not a category, not all the children, a specific report, one or more but specific reports. Users, where you have the permission, specific to a technician or a service advisor or the employee that is logged in. They're not going to see anybody else's information. There's one other thing, when you go into these, you'll have the ability to say allow or deny. We say it's best to only use deny if you are excluding a single or multiple items within a category or a group. You don't need to go in and start clicking deny. You only click deny if you've got a group and you say, I don't want them to see this one report out of this group of reports. And lastly, on security, which I'm hoping most people know, all reports that are built allowed follow the user. So all reports built follow the user that's logged in only. So if I went in and created those reports that we just did today in our system, guess what? I'm the only one, Doug, that's going to have access to those reports. In order to share those reports, from your layout, select the specific report and select Manage Layout. And what you can do is export that report, then log in as whoever you want to share that report with, and you would import that report into theirs. So each report follows the user. To give that report to other users, export it, log in as the other user, and import it. So make sure
you
Doug, follow that.
Doug, can you show the deploy feature as well? Because in that case, you don't have to do that.
Yes, we can. Let's do this. Let's go back to the report that I did a while ago, the invoice summary. Okay, so here's the one I did a little earlier. I'm going to execute that report. Now, if I want to share this report with somebody else, I can go to Layout, and instead of exporting, importing, I can simply say deploy that report and give that to Sammy Service Advisor, or give it to all my service advisors, okay? And then I simply click OK. Now it's going to ask me to enter a security code because we want to track and make sure we don't want to get blamed for anything here. So you're going to have to enter the security code. And now I've just shared that report with those two people. And if I were to log in as them, okay, now let me do this. Let me just quickly do a log off, work offline, and we'll quickly go back online as Sammy Service Advisor right here. Okay, Sammy's going to have access to those reports that I just built. Under My Reports, okay, Sales, so there you see the report, right? Now, you might be saying, where's that invoice summary report? You want to know where the problem is? The problem is going to be in security because Sammy has not been set up to look at the invoice summary report. He has been set up to look at the vital signs, but that's why you're not seeing that invoice summary report. You're only seeing this one, okay? So just keep that in mind. The security plays a pretty big part in this stuff, okay? All right. So hopefully that, gets everybody feeling a little more comfortable with some of these reports and security. I was going to show you guys one other little trick, but I think we're going to just stop on that because I've talked too much and we have very little time left for questions. So let's dive right into some of the questions. So Robert has some questions for Jeff. Looks like some of these questions have already been answered. Do we need to review them or?
Yeah, you can review starting on the third last one. Where would the legend be for the format field? That was related to the calculated columns.
Oh, the legend is in, I'm sorry, and I actually even have that up here, right here. In your help system, just here, let me just start this over. Close all, let me go to the software here. I'm just going to click on my question mark for help. I'm going to go down the tree of information. I locate reports. I can go to advanced features. And there's a lot of information in here, but right down here you're going to see your data types. Remember, I was using system decimal on everything, but here's your types and your descriptions. Here are your different format codes. I was using C for currency, so it would show up in dollar values. If you wanted to use percentages, then you can use P for percentage. And then down below, so like, remember, I was doing C2 for currency, 2 decimal points. I can use percentage, 1, 2, or no decimal points. So that's all in here. And like I say, help, advanced reports, and it looks like on the bar it's about halfway down. This will also be in your handout, folks, that we're going to send out to you. So we always encourage you to hop into these, the help system, and as the help system works, there is usually going to be some tours in here that you might want to look at too, okay? I guess Robert and Jeff are communicating. This is a little bit off topic, but I saw a messaging tab at the home page. Is that in-house training? The messaging, the software does have a messaging system built in it for communication between the employees. It is off topic and we can cover that. It's really not a completed scenario right now, but was somebody going to say something? Okay, so the messaging system is in phase. And yes, you are seeing the messaging system pop up. We've got a little ways to go on that before that's ready for general release and discussion, but we will get to that. Phil, Paris, thank you. Okay. Yeah, it will be a handy tool. I think a lot of people will enjoy that. Okay, so hopefully we'll be able to get some webinar information on that here before too long. Okay. Any other questions, anybody? We've got a couple minutes left here. Anybody? All right. Okay. Actually, no. First, all the handouts and stuff. While I'm in the help system, let me just kind of show you where that goes. In the help system itself, there is a section dedicated to all the webinars that we've done. So webinars right off of the main tree. We've done. This will be our 7th webinar. And if you open any of these webinars up, you're going to see all the support documentation that goes with that. And you're also going to have the recording. Why am I missing the recording here? Is it down at the bottom? Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is it right here. So here are all the recordings, and they've broken these down into segments. So you don't have to sit here and listen to me babble for 35, 40 minutes. You can drive right in on what you want to listen to, okay? Okay, Carl, I'm not understanding. That would be a great feature request. Right-click and go to the invoice.
It's related to something he said before. He was asking if you could get directly to the invoice from the invoice summary report, for example, which you currently can do.
Okay.
It is a good feature.
Todd, yeah, it is. Todd, what is your question? Can you show a quick example of how to show a report sorting by source?
I think he's talking about the marketing source.
Yeah. I don't know that I've got much of anything in my system that would help us with that. Because like I say, I really don't use my system too much. Jeff, can you maybe direct me on that a little bit, or?
I'm just seeing so the marketing source is a column in the invoice summary. So if you go to the invoice summary,
I'm going to have to log in as something other here. So bear with me 1 second here, and I will. Okay, reports, all reports. That is under sales. Okay, and marketing. Which one are we looking for, Jeff?
Invoice summary.
Okay, I'm sorry. Invoice summary. Okay. And like I say, guys, we're probably not going to get much with that. I might have 1 or 2 entries in here for that. And we wanted to sort by marketing source.
Yeah, so it's over to the right. You could use the group by.
Yeah, it'd probably be easier to just find it. I think it's way out at the end, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
Here, make this a little quicker. Color bin, source.
I'm just group.
Okay. So I do have one. Yeehaw. So really 2 ways to do that. I can take source, bring it up, okay, and let me go way back over here. Okay, so source 25 items. I've got 1 newspaper. So all you're going to do, you can either take that column and drag it up, okay, or you can use your sort column and select it from here if you want. So both do the same thing. It's just whichever way you prefer to do it. Okay, so I've only got 1, and there it is, and it's the Scott Socket, by the way. That worked so good he became an employee. Okay, question source. Can we get some help with complex formulas for calculating technician pay? Well, we do offer help. Unfortunately, when we have to work one-on-one with a trainer, it's billable time.
Brian, you could also talk to your sales rep as well.
That's a great idea.
Give some help with that.
Okay. And then another, Brian, when we have multiple profit centers, can we report on them just by profit center? Well, you can use your filter. Okay, so if you're looking at profit centers, I'm thinking I have quite a few profit centers in mine. I just don't have any sales underneath them, so that's why they're not coming in here. Let me do this. Last year. Okay, so let me sort by profit center. All right, can we sort or report by? So here you're looking at, I've got an automotive service. I've got a couple of them. I've got used vehicle stuff, and I've got whole goods. So each of these is a profit center. So if I want to narrow that down to simply that automotive service, okay, then that's going to be a filter. Okay, so I would go in and say profit center contains, and let's say, well, these both have the same name. Let me do it differently. Well, I can just do this. Okay, and then add that. So now, because they both have service in them, okay, I might be able to create another filter that says profit center does not contain location. So I'm trying to eliminate the 1. So now I'm down to 1. So yes, you can by using your filters. Should give you the ability to narrow down almost everything. Okay, great. All right, so I don't know if Carl's talking to me. Is there a report available based on the income statement so we can calculate different things like percentages for sales, each income category? Well, that's your vital signs report.
Yeah, I think he's looking for the actual income statement accounts and maybe percentages of expense items as well as a percentage of sales. No, that's not currently in there. You'd have to export your income statement to Excel, and then you can quite easily do those calculations.
Okay. And then Brian asks, I want to see the graph just by profit center. Guys, we're a little bit over on time. I mean, I can take a look at that right quick and see what we can do. Let me take my filters and just clear them out of here. Okay, so you're wanting to see a graph. Okay,
just do
so
a
here's
pie chart.
one.
Yeah, just do a pie chart
Okay.
based on the
There it is.
profit center. But he wants it based on profit center, I think.
That's what this is. Service and repair, used vehicles. Okay, I'm sorry, you're right. Those are service categories. So let's go to charts.
Go to settings.
Sorry?
Go to settings.
On
the right
let
side.
me get, okay. Okay, so what do you want to do, Jeff?
Go to
settings over here.
And see if you can switch it to from service category to profit center right there. No, not that.
Yeah. I'm looking for profit
above
center.
that.
Service, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Profit center. Okay. So there you go, guys. So Jeff's the guru on this stuff. I would have tried to build something new. So just change your column label. And now you're looking at each end. Again, don't be confused because some of my profit centers kind of have the same name. So Brian, hopefully that helps you. That's a pretty simple one then. So all you're going to do is go to vital signs by service category, run the report, okay, go to the tab at the bottom, go to settings and change that from service category to profit center. That's pretty easy. All right, guys. So we're about 3 minutes over. Sorry, I talked a little bit too much today, but hopefully everybody's good with today's meeting. Really appreciate everybody showing up. Just to verify here, let's just take this opportunity to say, give us some feedback. We always appreciate the feedback, positive or negative. I want to know. Our next webinar is going to be scheduled for the 20th. We're not 100% sure right now, but we're thinking we're going to look forward to the prioritization view. And for those of you who attended the technician view seminar a couple weeks ago, surely you know that has been changed a little bit. Hopefully it's a lot easier for you, and we can take a minute or two out of that webinar to review some of the new features. So I'll take this opportunity to thank everybody so much for joining us. Please keep coming. Please keep giving us your feedback. Always appreciated. Thanks and have a great day, everybody.